So thanks for inviting me down. So I just want to talk about your bare-knuckle boxing career because you're well known for that. That's how a lot of people know you. So how long have you been in the fight then?
So when it sort of become, what do you class it as, pro, semi-pro, I signed up with UBKB.
And that is?
Ultimate bare-knuckle boxing. It used to be UB-Bad. Sean Smith, well-known face from Liverpool, the debt collector guy.
Okay, yeah.
Lovely bloke, his wife and Amanda. I've started off with them professionally. Before that, we'd done some of the organised stuff with some of the lads that I knew. So obviously, lads who knew the travelling community or lads that was organising things before bare-knuckle became more mainstream. It was a bit more seedy. It was old abandoned pubs. People had got keys to them, set up a thing there. It was a bit undergroundish.
It was a little bit more dangerous, yeah?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, they had some paramedics there and whatnot, but it was, let's sell 100 tickets at 50 quid to people, get a few lads down there that like to have a fight, and that was it. So, on and off, getting on for 10 years, sort of like that. Professionally, a few years now, well, where it's more as like a sport in arenas, a few years.
So, do you remember your first fight?
Yeah, so always been into bodybuilding and powerlifting, and because of doing the doors and debt collecting and stuff, I've always done a bit of boxing. Done a bit of the MMA with the lads, obviously. We were running the doors and stuff, you can learn a few bits. I was 20 stone at the time, and as you've seen, I'm 5'7". So
Yeah.
20 stone at 5'7".
You're quite wide.
As a bodybuilder. And a pal of mine rang me up, says, Chris, I've got your fight. Are you interested? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, you know, I've got into that bare-knuckle. I was like, yeah, look, these lads. And at the time, it was when you had the likes of Andy Topliff was around, passed away now, bless him. The other guy who passed away, Brendan Hyde, he was about still. Dave Courtney,
Yeah.
they'd all been doing bits and bobs. There's £1,000 for this fight. Do you want it? And at the time, we're like, £1,000.
Yeah, sort of like it's better than just having a fight for
Yeah.
no reason, isn't it?
Yeah, so he says, well, it's ruled, it's bare-knuckle, it's not like go down there and thing, there's some rules to it, but they'll pay you £1,000 as soon as you arrive. So 4 of us jumped in the car the next day. Cardio wasn't really great. It was sort of just, I'd do my bits and bobs. Went down to this pub near, I think it was Warwickshire, Birmingham Way, somewhere like that. See the old little place. We gets there, there's Rolls Royces in the car park, there's old fashioned Jags, and there were some faces there that you looked at and you thought, yeah, mate,
gangster
yeah,
tip, isn't it? Yeah.
So one of my pals, I'm not going to mention his name, obviously things I asked him, but he's a bit of a lad and he's a bit of a comedian. They were like, you know, mate, it's like a scene out of Lock Stock. This is like, we got there, there were some big lumps there, and they were like, can we help you lads? I was like, yeah, been invited to fight, mate, by such and such. I said, yeah, no problem, mate, we'll take you through. Took us through. There was 80, 90 people there. It was a shithole where it was. It was all arranged, and then they went, Dave Courtney wants to speak to you. Spoke to Dave, and Dave was like, you know you're fighting, don't you? I was like, no, not at all. Now the kid who I fought, 6'5", 23.5 stone at the time. It was massive. Hands like spades. And it was, here's the £1,000. Once it's done, you'll get paid. That's it. This lad filled the ring, was in a little pit, probably no wider than this square area in the living room, and he towered me, mate. And I thought, what the fuck have I got myself into here? And it lasted 14 seconds. And then it sort of spurred around, then it was like, fucking hell, this guy. And then a few phone calls come in, and when a couple of the travelling lads from the travelling community then were like, look, mate, we can get you a fucking couple of fights.
So going back to the 14 seconds, the outcome of that fight was?
Well, I won.
Yes, good.
Broke my hand in the process. The lad after me become a pal of mine, lovely lad, wicked bloke, and mate, he's still a fucking monster now, mate. It was a big tough kid, and it was just one of them things. It was just, I tucked in, thrown the biggest overhand right you could imagine, and it landed. That was it.
Yeah.
I think in the whole fight, I thrown 3 shots, And it was just the fact he was just that big, and he just couldn't get on the inside. That was it. It was done. It was
So
finished.
it was like as much relief as joy, I imagine.
Oh yeah. It was some. And looking at the time, I was thinking, are we going to get paid now, or is it going to be one of them things? Because this lad, obviously, from where he was from, he was their main kid. There was 4 of us that had gone down. Every person there was backing this lad.
Yeah.
It was just, whether it were luck or not, there was no skill. Like I'm not knocking lads who do the pit fighting. I think they've all got bollocks. I think there's an art to the pit fighting compared to a boxing ring or a cage. There is an art. It's a completely different art. And that's what it was that day. It was just, there was 2 big blokes in there, one taller than the other, and whoever was going to land that shot in right place, they were going to be out. And that's what happened.
Yeah. What do you think makes men want to fight?
It's a strange one, because my wife, she doesn't like violence. She'll love the boxing, she'll love the MMA, she'd never been to the bare-knuckle or nothing until we got together, and she'd come and watch me fight, obviously for a title on the bare-knuckle, and she loved it. So she says to me, do you like violence? And the weird question here, answer to the question is, do I like violence? Not really. But when it comes to being controlled and stuff like that, it's enjoyable. I don't know why. I don't know if it's an ego thing. Example, the lad Andy James owns Pro Fitness Gym where I train. Bodybuilder. Big bloke, he's in his 50s now. Bit of a lad in his day, could air fight and stuff. And he was on about it, and like he says, mate, look, lads who are asking the questions will go, fighting and that, and you go, look, when you're doing these bodybuilding shows, it's politics. You can be the best bodybuilder on stage, right? In the fight world, yeah, alright, boxing, there is politics. In bare knuckle, there ain't much politics, mate. Because 9 times out of 10, them fights are over pretty quick, or it's pretty noticeable who's won that fight. And I think it just draws more to the point of the bare knuckle that the politics aren't there.
I've got my take on why men like fighting, or why men find it necessary to fight, and why it was important, and it's still important now. Because when we was at school, remember there was the toughest kid?
Yeah, I remember them days.
And then there was the toughest kids' pals.
Yeah.
And then there was the lads who were just normal, and then there was lads who didn't like fighting. Now, what never happened back then, well, what did happen, by the age of 15, 16, everyone had a pecking order. Now, kids go to school, boys go to school, they never have a fight, they're not allowed to fight in school, it's seen as bad. So then they get to 15, 16, now they want to be bad men, they want to be gangsters, and you can pick up a lump of wood, a knife, get yourself a shooter.
And the thing is with that as well, it's like social media. It's now at school, it's like you're saying, alright, at school wasn't enjoyable for me, I got kicked out sooner than I should have, but at school I was that kid that got bullied and then sort of become a bit of a bully at the time at school until I got put in my place.
Yeah.
Then I become sort of like the little toe rag at school, kicked out of school, and in that year I get at school I had to grow up quick. So I got a job at 15, did what I did. Grown up quick, went back for my exams. Then the lads who had been bullying me, in that year I'd changed a lot, I'd aged a lot if you like. So I wasn't your normal 15, 16 year old at that point. I was going in the pubs then with a few of the older lads that I knew, getting served, going out downtown. And I remember sorting a couple of these lads who'd sorted me out, then that was it, I was no exams, no nothing, get out of school altogether. And you say to these like kids now that's 15, 16, even 14, and you say, you're on social media, you're looking like that, like you've just said. When we was at school, there was the pecking order. Now it's who's got the most expensive clothes, who's got the most expensive trainers, who's got the biggest knife. And it's like now, it's normal for these kids to go, we're having a fight after school, but I'm going to stab you. And they turn up with 14 of the mates, and they've all got a blade on them. And and there is that odd kid still that will go for that straightener. It's worrying. It's worrying now that these kids are doing this, because like you said, there's nothing there now for them to make them a man now to sort the differences out properly.
And a worrying thing is, something I like to point out is, they say it's boys, but there's boys and girls in this world, and a lot of the boys who are going down that line and getting a reputation, they're getting a pity girl. it's down to the girls, it's down to their mums to teach them daughters that it's not just a boy with all the flash. You know, it's the nice boy. That's what you need to look out for.
And that's the worrying thing as well. I've got kids and the girls.
Yeah.
And you look at it like that, and I dread the day it comes where it's like, oh, I've got my boyfriend. Because you look at it like you've just said. We've been lads. We've done things when we're younger. So we know what it's like. But now, like you said, it's that generation now. Drugs are a lot more normal now for these kids at 15, 16. Like a pal of mine, his son, about a year ago, he says, man, I need you to come round this house with me. What's gone off? His lad's name says, might find some bags of drugs in his room. This kid's 15 years old. Well, he says, what do you think it is? I says, mate, it looks like coke to me. So we got his lad, said, look, what's going off? Are you taking this? No. We called his bluff, said, Sam, come downstairs, mate, got a piss test for you. What do you mean? You're pissing his cup, mate, we're going to know what you've been taking. He broke down, he come clean. All my mates are taking, no mates. But such and such, the main lad in the group who's got the money, mum and dad. And the other lad, it's not even like he needed to sell drugs. His mum and dad's loaded.
He had money.
Yeah, he's got money. His mum and dad gives him. So why send the drugs? It was drug dealer. This is why there's a big thing with me we've all done wrong. I went to prison for that when I was younger, for drugs. Yeah. I don't have no to do with it no more. I haven't done for many, many, many years. Well, I've got pals that do it. Cool. That's your thing.
Yeah.
Lads who do it. But these lads I know that do it, they don't use it as a status symbol. They do it. They're doing it because it's what they know. Yeah. Now some of them it's a status symbol. I'm a drug dealer in this town. I'm not to be fucked about with. All right, yeah. And then in the 90s and the 80s, there were one drug dealer in one town. You knew that guy had a bit about him, or he had people around him. Nowadays, we could walk out here onto the street now, walk from here to the town centre, which is 5 minutes, and see 20 drug dealers.
Yeah. We've talked about drugs and crime. We've talked about bare-knuckle. I just want to talk about a positive and a way out. So you're well known as a businessman.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you just to give us a little bit about what kind of businesses you're running and how that works.
Solely now, I run a large security company. And we do literally anything to do with any type of security. Other businesses I've had gyms, I've had cafes, I've had restaurants. The generation's changed now. There being a doorman now ain't about being a big lump or a bloke who can have a fight.
But,
yes,
but it's got to be in there, hasn't it?
It comes in handy, mate, yes. But it's also very frowned upon now in the security game, which people who are sat with a textbook in a classroom in an office at uni wanting some part-time work, to read X, Y and Z on these questions, and this is how you handle the situation, and you go, mate, got this, how many blokes do we in here tonight? Oh, we're 4 short, right, let's use them new lads, give them a try. You put them on there, and they haven't got a clue. And it's a very scary world to be in now. The security game is not what it's cracked up to be anymore. Yes, the money can be lucrative in it. Cameras are a very big thing now in security, so it's not like back then you could have 500 doormen on your books and be making money off them all. Them days are gone. It's still, the doors are involved, the building sites are involved, the close protection, the key holding, the CCTV, all that is a massive part of it now. But with the doors, like you said, yes, you could do with having them lads that can look after themselves. As you know, doing the Olympus security, me and Sam Blakesley run the Olympus Fight Club. Yeah. Sam's top bloke. He got into security himself, as you know. I guide him a bit with it, give him advice and help him out and try and pass him some work, and he'll ring me up and say, I've got some work here for you. We do the Olympus security with him. And it's no good taking 4 jacket fillers to a bare-knuckle boxing match in an arena with 600 people. There'd be a problem. If there's a kick-off, you know yourself, from a boxing background, how many people go and watch the boxing or the bare-knuckle that aren't into some sort of that themselves or are from a bit of a different life?
Yeah, they need to be able to have a conversation, innit?
Yeah, and you've got to be able to have that respect of, nowadays it's not just about being a big lump bully. And I say to people, they go, mate, how comes you get work all over the country? And it's because I've learnt from lads who have done it since the 80s, the 90s, and I learnt from all them. And it's not about just chucking your weight about, and of course you get it, you fucking prick doorman bully. X, Y, and Z. Tommy Hench did it not long ago. You know, Tommy Hench, the boxing guy that's all over the Instagram and everything. I think he had a fight like last year with someone that was in the. It was a doorman, and him and his mates made a video, and yeah, fucking all doormen are bullies, and they're all pricks, and they're all this. Yeah, stereotype, mate. Yeah, there is a lot. There is a lot of lads, mate, that have ended up clarting on the door because of their attitude. But it's more of the fact of now. It's nice to have that a bit about you, but be able to talk. Be able to just calm a situation with voice. And again, it comes back to that first question. Do you like violence? Why do men like fighting? I'd rather talk a situation on the door than end up getting into an altercation, because now it leads to a couple of things. I've been stabbed, I've been slashed, I've been bottled, I've been shot at, I've had a car fucking put through a front door where I've been working. We've had it. The kids of today, 18 to 30-ish, 9 times out of 10 are carrying something on them. And it goes from, listen, you've already been told, I ain't going to tell you again, because now it's a case of, sound, I'm not from coming in there, no, knives out.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, they haven't got the balls to use it. It's an accident what happens. You'll get the one that has got the balls to use it, that deliberately comes with it to do something. You'll get the lads that pull a shooter out. And we've had it. And I've some of the lads who've worked with me and have worked with me, we've stood there, and I'll never forget it. We had a lad one night and he pulled a sawn-off shotgun out. The shotgun was as big as his leg. Only a little bloke. We went back and forth. I rate him. He gave all the talk. I'll fucking blast you. What I mean? Sam, go and fetch it. Because now you get sick of hearing it. He went back and fetched it. And he come back to that front door in the same clothes he had on. All he done is put a cap on. And he says, yeah, I'm back. Yeah? Get your fucking gun out then. He got his fucking gun out, mate. And the only thing that stopped it is the gun jammed. It was a sawn-off shotgun. There was 5 of us stood at that front door, mate.
That was spread, that would take you all out.
It took us all out, mate. And I'm talking, he was stood within 6 foot of us. That was not a few pellets in leg or anything. It was fucking, you were getting something blown off.
Yeah. I mean, he sounds like an outlier. My take on violence is, I think it's vital. I think that it's, as countries, we need to be able to protect ourselves. That's why I have an armed forces. I've done 10 years in that. I believe that they're taking kids off council estates around the country, people who they know have got a bit of violence in them, but they're trained, they're professional, and if this country needs protecting, they're going to use violence.
If this country needed protecting now, we'd be fucked. If they brought...
It'd be true, it'd be... I don't know.
I mean, how many people now could you say you could, like, you've been in the... I've not. I've got plenty of pals who have been in the forces, but because of the security background with the CP and doing the close protection training abroad and stuff, it's very military.
Yeah.
So even though we've not done what you guys have done, and no one can ever take that away from anyone who's serving the forces, I've taken my off to them.
A few incidents happened, and then they kind of started looking a little bit sharper at who they're recruiting. So if someone was a little bit more aggressive or had a harder life, they weren't getting through. And it was nice kids from nice families.
Well, you know yourself now, you've got a criminal record, you can't get in the army.
Yeah, and you don't need to be such a nice kid to be a good soldier. That's in my... I'm not saying nice kids can't be good soldiers. I'm saying, like, you can't make a nice kid aggressive when it needs to happen if he's not got it. But you've got someone who's maybe not such a nice person because they've had a rough start in life. You can teach them discipline and manners and control. So now you've got the full package. You know, I believe that kids who've been through the care system, been locked up in various ways, been in bad families, I think they're the ones that need given more of a shot.
And I agree, because like I said, now if they're called up for war, or they brought back the, what they used to call it, the...
military service.
National service.
Yeah.
Every fucking 16 to 25-year-old, the first thing they'd be packing is a mobile phone and a fucking iPad.
Yeah.
It baffles me, it don't make sense, but...
And they won't be going because they'd be having the doctor saying they've got depression, anxiety,
PTSD from because they've
changing their sexuality, all that sort of stuff.
They identify as a microwave.
I think we'd be in trouble if this government get us in any more trouble.
But again, that becomes down to this again. Social media. I don't care what anyone says. It's all social media. Suicide, social media. Now it's like the norm now to claim depression, to claim it, to cry suicide. I mean, and it's very close to me because I've had a couple of friends that's done themselves through suicide. My partner's brother killed himself through suicide, and it absolutely drains the life out of me when you get someone that all of a sudden, because they can't get free for a one on a Friday, or they can't turn around on a Monday morning and pay all the debts off, they're dying of depression, they need to lock themselves away, they've gone missing for 4 days, turned the phone off. No, they haven't. They've gone and locked themselves in the fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
And it really grates on me now, because to me, to claim that card that you are going to take your life, you've got to be in a low place. Bad low place. Not... And all right, yes, some people who suffer with the drug psychosis and stuff do it. You know yourself from the communities you've worked in. It is very normal now for people to go, oh, I'm depressed, I feel like killing myself. What for? My mum won't give me a fiver.
Yes, yeah. I mean, suicide ain't no laughing matter. And I believe men need to talk. But I believe they need to talk to other men. I believe this kind of dynamic's important. I believe in opening up to your wife, because she's the closest person to me, and I'm sure you're very close to yours.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that my wife doesn't need to know. She needs to know that she's married a man. You know, so she needs to have confidence and trust in me. So she needs to know so much. But I believe men need to talk to each other, and it stops us being so emotional. And a very emotional people who hold it in, I've said this on another conversation, end up as school shooters. Because they don't know how to regulate their feelings.
And it comes again, it's like you just said, real blokes are close to wives, and they share a lot with them. There's not many secrets you have, but there is them things where you think, I can't tell her that, because that's my personal thing, and I'm going to make myself feel very weak by telling my wife that. Where you're thinking, I remember on my wedding day, so people was like, and bets like all mates that were there. So we had a very small wedding, and everyone were cracking jokes saying, yeah, Betty, and Dino was my coach through boxing. A very good friend of mine, Dean Rowley, is as well. And Dean says, "You don't cry." Tell you that now. And I thought, when she come walking in, and there were a mirror at the red straps where we got married, and the scene, and I thought, I can feel myself well up here. And I didn't cry. And it went down and whatnot. And at the time, some personal issues in my family, nothing to do with me, but there was personal issues in my family why certain members of my family didn't come, certain members did. Very stupid that why they didn't, but it is what it is. It was falls out between themselves, yeah. And it come to everything were great, wedding were brilliant, there were no crying on anyone's behalf, apart from a few people in who was there watching it, and obviously a few tears and stuff, in happiness. And we got to the speeches bit at the meal, and best man did his speech, and it was wicked. Adam Spencer, fucking, obviously I'm going to mention him on here, he's like family to me, Adam is, he was wicked. He did this speech, and another friend of mine, Benny, he did the speech, and it was mint, and everyone then get to my dad, come on Paul, you need to do a speech. And I'd stand up with him. My dad's not like, he has a bit of a drink to get a bit of confidence, and he was like, no, I don't want to. I said, come on, we'll do a speech. Well, I'll stand up with you. And everyone was thinking, and what happened, mate, is 2 words got said, floodgates opened. I couldn't speak. I was welling up. I thought, what do I do? Trying to do a speech, and it does hit you sometimes.
Yeah.
And it does, and when, like you said, and I think it was the fact of I'd bottled everything up for that long, and then this one little thing got mentioned about person that wanted a wedding, and that was it.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And like my missus said to me, so she went, but you know something, that's what makes you a man, is that you can cry, you can open up. She went, alright, don't get me wrong, she went, if every day I go out of bed and you were downstairs crying your eyes out, I'd be fucking saying to sort your life out. But it does show that sometimes it's good to at least let your feelings show in a way.
Yeah, I don't know if she's seen me crying, but I'll ask her to see me upset. I'll put it that way. And I'm not saying that it's not a manly thing to cry. What I'm saying is you need some men around you, some close men, some people that you trust, and some people that have got your back. And that's not a violence thing. That's a man that you can talk to. People say men are toxic masculinity. It's a load of bullshit. Women need proper men, and men need proper men. And it's alright to have a cry now and again, but not every day. And as well as crying, we need to be able to laugh as much as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very difficult to have a joke with someone nowadays.
I mean, I'm known with work, obviously, like my missus, she deals with all the staffing. And I'll be honest, this is no disrespect to the lads and the girls that work for us, there's only so many excuses you can hear.
Yes.
So when it gets to shift on a certain day and someone rings up and they've had 6 grandmas pass away, or the sister's cat's passed, or they're in hospital, but then you've been sent a picture of them and they're down the fucking local boozer.
Yeah, it's usually on a Friday on a bank holiday weekend, isn't it?
Which security game, it's a bit different. It could be any day of the week in that game. It's if some of them are dedicated, some of them are. So she deals with the staffing, because I will go in on the staff. I will fucking let them know the place. She said, you can't do that. I'm like, it's the security industry. They need to know. They've got to know the place. They need to behave. Yeah, it's work. They're quick enough to know when they're not getting what they want at work. So I'm on the case a lot. And she's like, no. Let me deal with it. You're too harsh on them. So she deals with all the stuff and things like that. So I find that with the, like what we was just saying about it, it's my emotions can be expressed in a very different way if I'm having a bad day.
Yes. Yeah.
And normally when I'm having a bad day, I can guarantee someone's going to message that work group and go, can't make it in tonight. And if I don't see a valid excuse, so 9 times out of 10 now, my missus or one of the managers will be literally there like, shit, quick, let's reply in this quick so he don't see it. So there's another 10 messages I don't have to read. Because if I see it, and my emotions do show then.
Likely to do something what doesn't involve crying. Yeah.
But then, like I said, that's what they're saying. They'll go, oh, Kris is too serious all the time, he's too serious. But when we go out with your friend circle, and this is what I say to people, my work is kept very separate to my friendship. Yes, some of my mates do work for me, but they know there's the line. When it's work, it is work. I mean, my best man, like I said, Adam, me and him has had some fucking screaming matches in our office, mate, where I'm going mad at him and he's saying, you didn't fucking tell us, yeah, fucking did you forgot again, you prick. And we're going mad at each other. Then literally 2 seconds later, it's like, right, it's done with now. Yeah. Right, it's work sorted. Yeah.
I mean, it's the pecking order, and that happens in society, that happens in work. I've had jobs where I've had managers, I've had jobs where I've been the manager, and if I say, this is what's happening, then this is what's happening, and it's not for me, it's for the common good.
Yep.
So I understand that running a business.
But like we were saying before with the security, so yeah, that's how I got into the security. I know we got a bit sidetracked with everything else, but yeah, I got into the security through that, on and off for years, debt collecting coming on the way and everything else that comes with security. So I've had numerous security companies over the years, and then a few years back it were like, right, I'm going to get balls deep into this now again, start up again, Top Dog Security come around, and mate, it grew and grew and grew. And again, I think that's down to now how society is. There's a lot of theft now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young lads going out vandalising things. There's a lot of young lads going out stabbing each other. And that's why the security game is very lucrative now. That's why I said, Sam, you will never ever be short of work if you get into it.
Yeah.
And I think he's noticed that now. But like Sam's still learning the way up there. And you know yourself, every town's different. Like you said, back in the day, it was Shottingham. I mean, what's the newest city now where it's normal for everyone to be shooting each other? Birmingham, say.
Yeah, it's kind of spread. It's more provincial now as well. It's not just in the big cities, is it?
No, it didn't, mate. There is little
it's
things.
happening in towns.
I mean, look at this. This is a little outskirts Derbyshire town. There was a lad up here not long ago that got slashed in his face over whatever it was. Some rumours again, drug debt, or they were trying to rob someone, or whatever they were doing. This guy's got a scar from here to here. Young lad.
Yeah.
Young lad. Over probably less than 100 quid.
I think the state of the police and law and order, there's going to be more and more work for you guys, isn't there?
There is, but again, the police, I'm not going to say this, not all police, because again, some of the police don't do themselves any favours. Some police are very helpful with the security game because they expect the same back. I'm not into talking to the police. You'll get many dickheads that when this gets posted, they'll be in the comment section like, I knew this guy in 1992 who's a fucking grass, or he were this, or he were nonce.
Right, yeah, everyone's
You
got
get
an
it.
opinion, haven't you?
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah,
You get
everyone's
it. You
got
get your
something to
haters
say.
and whatnot. But some of the police, they'll come, they let you do your job. Like we had a nightclub we looked after in Nottingham. This nightclub they went through 4 or 5 different security firms in the space of a few months. There were a stabbing. No one wanted to touch that door. Nobody. A friend of mine, Wayne Buck, he come to me and says, Chris, I think you met Wayne at the last Olympus show. They got him in the ring to do the thing.
And big guy, yeah.
Yeah, Wayne, very well known in security game, ex-professional fighter. And,
Was he a bodybuilder? Was he like a professional bodybuilder?
No, he was a professional boxer.
Right.
And then he went into MMA. I think it was Cage Warriors. I think it was. He was fighting for Cage Warriors when Cage Warriors was really big. And Wayne said, I've got a friend who'll take the door on. Here's his details. Went down there. We did it, and the people who own it, they never had a nightclub. There was business people.
Yeah.
They took a nightclub on, and of course they wanted to make money like every nightclub does. So they was putting certain events on there, your R&B nights, your bashment nights, your drum and bass nights, whatever was pulling the money in. So when these guys that was booking these R&B nights from certain communities in Nottingham, St Anne's, Radford, the Meadows, and then all the surrounding towns, which was all known back in the early 2000s and the 90s, there was a lot of shootings and stabbings happening in these areas because of the community they was in.
Yeah.
Now, because a lot of these guys are black, it's frowned upon. So you'd get people go, oh mate, we don't do security for putting black events on. They said to me, are you bothered if we put these events on? I was like, no. An event's an event. I've worked some of the roughest shitholes in the country. I've worked in places in Turkey doing security.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's no drama. I'm not asked. An event's an event, but you let me staff it how I want to staff it. And they learned the hard way the first night we did it. Yes, we had enough staff there. They wanted, I think it was 14 or 15 lads on. So we put it on. I was there for the night, and it got to the point where there was a kick-off, and this little tiny kick-off then escalated into 60 blokes all trying to kill each other on the dance floor.
Right.
And it was a guy's birthday. The guy whose birthday it was as well is a guy from St Anne's Way. He's a respectable guy. He's old school. He knew the finger. And I'm stood there and they go, you're not doing nothing. I said, you've undermined us all night. I told you to let me run the door my way. There'd be no problems. And you didn't. So what do you want me to do now? We want all these out. There's 15 of us and 60 of them. They're all fighting amongst each other. Let them fight amongst themselves. Tie themselves out. Some will leave. Some will get dragged out. Until that point, there's nothing we can do. End of the night, I said, right, are you ready to listen or not? Yeah, cool, ready to listen. I had that place now for 2 years. And yes, you get incidences, but because they've let it run a proper way, no knives go in there no more. No guns get in there. No, there's nothing gets in there. Everyone gets a full search. It's ran properly. It's ran precision like military. And if there is an issue, it's nipped in the bud.
Dealt with.
There's no big mass brawls in there no more.
Yeah.
And some of these guys who come down that club, they're not idiots. They're not little divvies. They're serious guys. Sam Cunn did a night with us there. Sam did a boxing event for us, and I said, Sam, I've got another shift, you done it? Yeah, Sam, I'll come to Nottingham. First night I worked in Nottingham, and he was on the way home, his car got smashed.
I think he said someone put a bottle through his window.
Put a bottle through his window. Yeah. So there were some lads from London, and they'd come down and the club was shut, but they're from London. And again, it gets this thing. I'm not saying everyone from London's got this attitude, because now I know, so I've got some good friends from London, and I've got some good friends from that community in London. These guys had chip on the shoulder from the start, but what's happened is they're outside, they've been told no, the doors are shut, blah blah blah. Doors open for a DJ to come through, they've tried to get in. The lads on the doors had the radio. Listen, you've been told, keep the doors shut. What are they doing? Get them out. So they've got them off the steps. It's kicked off outside. The search table's been thrown at the door, lads. The railings have gone up. They're all fighting outside with these two lads and three of the doormen. And it's kicked off. We've gone downstairs. We broke it all up. Told the 2 London lads, listen. Now one of these lads, I mean, I'm not going to show it on camera, but we've got the CCTV of it. He was a big kid. He could look after himself. His mate was a little prick. His mate was a scrawny lad that, because he's got this big guy with him, he thought he had some about him.
So the little fella was the instigator?
And he come back to the point. I said, listen, leave it now, mate. Yeah? It's broke up, right? Think it was pretty even. Leave it. He's carried on. What's had to happen's happened. They've left. He's gone. End of the night come. They came back, they followed Sam. Put Sam's car window through. Then we've got the call, this coloured car, blah blah blah, description. They've circled back. We've seen the car. They've waited, and then they've come to try and get obviously their own back.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out that way for them. So short story of it was again is. In that line of work, I think the police can be more helpful, because if the police had been doing the job that night instead of dealing with drunken 18-year-old students in the market square, and then I thought, you know what, let's base an actual unit up there, because this is what happens up this side of town.
There's always going to be violence where there's nightclubs. There's always going to be an argument over a girl, over money, over a bad look. But do you get a lot of security jobs? Is it becoming a thing where you're getting security jobs with looking after people's businesses?
Yeah, so we do a lot with the business side of it. So we do a lot of the building sites and things like that. We look after hotels.
Yeah.
With all these riots that's been happening at the minute, we've had a lot of influx of work through that. I mean, Sam had it with the guys at the mosques and stuff. We've had it. We had a guy. But the thing is, as well, then people looked at it like this: is in the security industry, because of what we are looking after.
Let's just get this one straight. Sam was helping protect these guys, good friends of ours from the mosque.
Yeah, from the mosque.
Yeah, in case there's anyone getting it twisted.
No, so Sam got the phone call. Can you? There's this march going off. Can you look after the mosque? I said, Sam, do you need me to come up? Do you need lads to come up? No, we're all right. I mean, I don't know why, but in Nottingham, they had the little parade. There were no trouble.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Yeah.
It was very strange. But then phone call Rotherham and Leeds and Birmingham and all these surrounding areas, and was getting phone call, mate, fucking hell, like this.
I think there's instigators out there trying to cause problems where there isn't problems. When I was growing up, there were problems, and people were kind of sectioned off in different communities. And like, I was thinking about this driving down here. People talk about being left wing and being right wing, and I don't believe you can be either. A fucking aeroplane has to have 2 wings. A bird has 2 wings. If you're going to be left wing or you're going to be right wing, you're spinning and crashing. And that came to me. It might be a bit of wisdom. Don't come very often, but like, I don't believe you can be a balanced man if you're going to be left or right wing.
Yeah, and
you've got to have an opinion on both, haven't you?
Yeah, and like I said, I'm like with that, we got a phone call off a guy. I own a security company, and this is what really frustrates me in the security industry nowadays: is you've got blokes setting up security companies because they've got a badge, they've got a bit of a business mind. Now, from a normal point of view, you're a business owner, and you live in a town where you've got numerous security companies. Now, a lot of people go with the cheapest, which, alright, people do it to save money, but in the long run they go, alright, that was the cheapest one, it didn't really work out.
Yeah,
I think we need to relook
Yeah.
at what we're hiring. And this guy had a security company. He says, there's a march going off in Leicester tomorrow. Right? Can you send me 3 lads? You've got lads. None of my lads will do it. Alright. Can I just ask what you're paying your lads? Oh, you're paying a minimum wage. So you're paying security guys £11.44. Yeah. I think that's where you went wrong for a start. Well, can you give me a price? So I said, right. I says, because you've come through a friend of mine, I'll do you a favour. Because of the type of work you're saying it is, I've got to send you 4 lads, and we're putting them a bit of risk. And like I said, my wife does all the staffing. And even the first thing when I said, she was like, well, how much are they going to pay? Because we're not going to go, we'll charge £30 an hour, let's pay the lads 10, pay them 15. We're going to pay the lads right. So I said, look, because you come through there, I'll look after you. Yeah, he's good stuff, man. I've worked with him for years. I says, right. I says, well, what should I do? He says, just look after him because he'll send more work. So I said, look, the bottom rate I could do it for is £20 an hour, mate, right? And then I'm literally making a couple of quid an hour at that off each lad. Yeah, it's too much. I said, I'm paying the lad 16 quid, mate. I said, I think that's too cheap for what sort of job it is. What is it looking after anyway? It was looking after a Sikh temple.
Yeah.
Because there was a march going off in Leicester somewhere.
Yeah.
So he wanted 4 lads. They'd had a message saying that this place is going to be targeted, but we only want 4 lads, and we want to pay absolute rock bottom prices to have security. Now, like I was saying to you, if you own a business, what do? We haven't got the yellow pages no more, so now it's either social media or Google. Yeah. You go through it, and all right, you've got this guy here, this security company, this security. You ask your pal, you know, we're a security company. Oh yeah, I know a lad in your town actually. Yeah. Yeah, what they're like? Well, they're well known, mate. They've got 20 years experience, and this sort of like bare-knuckle fighting, the boxing. They're very well respected and well known in their areas. Well, what do? Do you go with them, or do you go with the bloke who's the cheapest business on Google? And it baffles me.
Yeah.
It baffles me now that we're trying to. People are moaning that the country's in a shit state, which it is, in many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to put a security company in your town centres where you're not going to get no trouble, or if the say no trouble, where the trouble's happening and it can be sorted either very quickly, or example in one of the towns we've got sort of quite a few doors like where we are now. It's very different to like Rotherham Ways and that, but you've got all these little towns, but all these little towns have got half decent pubs in them. So there's 5 or 6 in one little town, 5 or 6 in another, and we've got a lot of the doors in them. And because of being known and being a bit of a lad and over the years and whatnot, I can put a sign on, signs go up, and 9 times out of 10, before the door lads even have to intervene, the locals will tell the arsehole who's kicking off and go, look at the sign on the wall.
Yeah, it's top dog.
It's top dogs.
Yeah,
and then they go,
away, yeah, keep
sorry,
lid on it.
and they leave it.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, it's not blowing smoke up my own arse. I'm good at what I do. We've got another security company called Trident in Nottingham. Called Trident in Nottingham. They're a very big business. They've mainly only ever done doors and CP, and they're branching out a bit now, doing other things. But we share work.
Yeah.
They'll ring me up. And Roman, who runs Trident, he doesn't want. He's done his years of taking on shitholes. We'll take on anything. So that's what also sells it a lot to people, because they'll go to Roman, hey mate, do this door for us. No, I won't do it, but I'll pass you on to my mate, he's got a security company, that's his sort of thing. Because when I did the doors back in the day, that's what I was paid to do. I was paid to go into venues and clean them up. Yeah. I was paid to go and sort places out.
Yeah, I mean, an actual building can have a reputation, innit?
Yeah.
But as soon as you get the proper team in, the right staff,
look
that
at
reputation can change. It's been a long time since I went in a nightclub.
Well, I'm sure you can remember Niche at Sheffield.
No, because I'm not actually from that neck of the woods.
Well, Niche was probably one of the most well-known clubs in the country at one point. The Niche Days and all that, and it was a fucking rough pub, mate. And there was lads from all over the country go work that pub. It got shut down. I think they've tried to reopen it as under a niche again somewhere else or whatever they've done, but it was a known shithole. Nowadays, if that door was open, a lot of door companies would go, no, we don't want it. I'd take it on. Yeah. I'd take it on. And it's not just the site. It's not just the wages that's involved. Yes, we all like money. We all like to have nice things. Yeah, whoever can sit there and go, oh, I'm happy driving around in my Ford Fiesta. Well, yeah, here's keys to a Ferrari. You can have that. Yeah. Who's going to turn it away? They're not.
Yeah.
So whoever's going to say it, we all like nice things. So the money thing, yeah, all right, we want money. We want the money for doing the job. But I also get the satisfaction of getting told, you know what, mate, thanks so much for doing such a good job for us.
A job well done.
Yeah, and it's very satisfying. And again, I have to thank Craig from Olympus for this and Sam from Olympus for this. When we started doing their bare-knuckle at Olympus, because the original first bare-knuckle event that we did was at Bridlington. on a traveller gypsy site thing. I'm not going to mention the guy's name who was fingered because he's one of the most hated guys on the internet.
Yeah, I think.
But I think you know who started it off.
Yeah.
There was two other lads involved with him at the time who didn't really know what. Was Lee Hornby, really good friend of mine, and Andy Smith. And they got me into... Well, Lee Hornby got me into the security there. We went down there, 4 people and a dog, in a traveller site, middle of nowhere. No other security company would touch it. We did it. Very successful. No fights. There were some rough lads there. There was some rough lads there. We was in the field. No one touched it. We did it. And then after that, Sam and everybody, mate, listen, we want your security team to help us out. I've got security. I've started security. We can do something together here. Bring so many of your lads, so many of my lads. We'll do the Olympus shows. We started doing that. Simon Kirk, who's got, he had YouTube Wars. I think he's rebranded it now. Simon Kirk, I want you to do our security. I mean, I've had to turn some places down for Simon because it's just too far to send the lads. I'll still go for him, and a couple of the lads will go for him. But we can't supply full. I mean, he's got one at Durham, I think, soon, where it just won't make business sense for him to pay me to take them lads there. But it's spread like that. We've done that. We've done wild fights. MMA. He does MMA, boxing, bare-knuckle, all on one show. So through that, getting these lads who are, some of them have got reputations themselves, or they've got lads who are involved in it already, to go, no, you've got a fight company, use top dog to do security. It's run properly.
I mean, like, it is massively growing, this bare-knuckle, this type of sport, because it is a sport, and to make the crowd, to attract the general public, it needs to be a secure venue.
Yeah.
You know, so if it was just like a couple of lads off the estate going to have a scrap who didn't know how to keep control of a crowd, weren't searching people, they're not gonna get the people in. They're not gonna make the money, are they?
No.
Conor McGregor's got involved.
He's brought into BKFC. I mean, you've got BKFC UK. I don't know too much of the ins and outs of how they run, but I know a few lads who fight on them. So it's like with the BKFC. Massive company. You talk to some of the people that fight on the shows and they say the shows are run shit, the security is shit, this is shit, and you're like, I had some guy pass a comment the other week like, for Bad to the Bone's trying to get me to fight. Stefan is, I get on with Stefan really well, really good guy Stefan is, who owns Bad to the Bone, and I was supposed to fight, but I had torn my bicep at the time. So it got postponed, then there's supposed to be another fight take place, and that didn't happen for whatever reasons. That didn't happen on the guy's part, and he's been trying to get me on. So a guy that's fought on there at the minute, he fought Adrian Arnold called Mel Tolan, I think his name is. I mean, he's a big kid. He seems a nice enough guy. He's a bit cocky and arrogant on the comments that he makes, but I'm not into all that arrogant talk and that. But he made a comment about belts and they don't mean fuck all and the backyard promotions and all that. And I thought, mate, listen, I'm not being funny now. Like, because, alright, BKFC's got someone behind it that's pumped the money into it and they've become a sanctioned company. Same with BKB did, with Joe and Jim down there, the BKB's now BYB. But realistically, yes, I get it where there's a paper company that's set up and they put belts up and next minute there's a bloke who's never had a fight in his life, he's won a title.
Yeah.
But when you've got lads that have been in the game for years or they've been in boxing for years and then transitioned to bare-knuckle or whatever and they're fighting for belts, I think it was disrespectful what they did. But with the BKFC, like you were saying, is they're a massive company. Conor McGregor brought into it. It's only going to grow even bigger now. It's going to be as big as paid as boxing eventually, I think.
Yeah.
I think it really is. I mean, you get people past comment and go, I'm not going fucking, I don't know how you go and fight for £250. I'll tell you now, I've never fought for £250. Ever. Even when Sam had asked me to fight on Olympus, me and Sam made a deal of what I was willing to fight for. And again, I'm a businessman. Yes, I like violence. Yes, I like fighting in that environment. But you're not going to ring me up and go, help me, I've got a fight for you next week, £300.
Yeah, no, there's a price, isn't there, for your time?
Mate, yeah. And time,
all the training.
And like I say, I'm not knocking it. I mean, like, you've got people like Mick Terrell. He's world number 1 at the minute. He's the world champion. Yeah, in every way at BKFC, he's the world champion. I've known Mick. Known of Mick for years. I know lads who know Mick. I've met Mick a few times up in Newcastle over the years. Mick's a fucking hard man. He's cut from a different cloth. He's a tough bloke. So you'll get people pass comment and go, hardest man in the UK, because someone made a video of me, as you've probably seen. There's a video went hardest man in the UK. There was one on Brian Morrow, Ben Waddington. There was quite a few of these videos floating around. What people didn't get is these lads who were making this video was trying to do something similar to what Danny Dye did back in the day, and Kate Craig, the hardest bastard programme, and Danny Dye's hardest men. There were lads trying to recreate that. Now, some of them blokes that are on them programmes, I can sit here now and go, fucking hardest man in the UK, fuck me. Like, there's one of them guys that was on their programmes. I'm not going to name him, so I'm not going to be like that, but we went to a town and he'd been on there, and Danny Dye's hardest man and all this, and we went to this town and this guy was there, and he was a prick, he was arrogant, and I clattered him all over his fucking door where he worked. Did that make me then the new Danny Dye's hardest bastard? It didn't, did it? People are entitled to their opinions, which I get.
Yes.
But I also agree there's got to be some sort of respect there. So when this video went floating around, and then what people didn't realise is these lads did me a favour. They made that video. Yes, I was known all over the places you found that through other people, and you get the opinion of people. You've wronged people in the past, so people are not going to like you.
Well,
yeah?
who hasn't? Yeah.
Yeah. You've got people that don't like you because you're more successful than them, or they jump on the bus of thingy, but it's like people go, he's a fucking bully, he is. And like I say to a lot of people, so a bully is what? So if you owe someone money and you've deliberately ripped them off, and I've collected that money off you for them, so I'm a bully. But you've ruined their life through taking that money and ripping them off, and they've not been able to pay the mortgage, not been able to fucking feed the kids. They've got themselves in more and more debt because you haven't paid them.
Yeah.
Does that make you a bully?
No, it's hardly bullying, is it? If we could rely on the police to go and knock on the door and say, this man owes this man some money.
It needs paying.
Yeah, but we can't, can we?
So
someone else has to come and step in.
It's a civil matter.
Yeah.
They go, it's a civil matter. It's got to go through the courts. And you go, all right, yeah, so it goes through the courts. You pay all the court costs, all the charge, everything. The court put a charge on this person. This person's already bankrupt. Yeah. They've got nothing. They've got no assets to seize. And the courts go, right, you've got X amount of days to start paying this money back. How many people pay it back? Very little of them pay it. So people then go down the other route of where you go, can you have it? And you know, some police, they understand it, that because back in the day, especially the old school police, they understand it that in a town you had a bloke who whatever he did for a living or whatever, but he was respected. And he could go knock on someone's door and say, listen, sort this fucker out. This don't need to be happening. Yeah, and it'd be sorted. And well, like I said, when this video got made, these lads had got snippets of things off people's Facebooks and pictures off other people and stories from other people. They made this little thing and a little video and a little documentary thing, and it was UK's hardest men. Is this guy one of them? John Dillon, JK, Kris George, blah blah. And then it was like debt collector, security business owner, enforcer, all that stuff. And a lot of people respected that. But then you get the small minority that want to be sly about that and pass comment about it and go, yeah, I don't fucking think so. And you go, all right, yeah, everyone's entitled to an opinion. I've had it this morning. I mean, the lad spoke to me now. I messaged him, he messaged me back, but you know what, mate, yeah, that comment shouldn't have been put like it did. And it did come across like, because I told him, I said, I don't give a fuck whether you fucking fight for BKFC or not, mate. Yeah? That video was made by someone off the back of that. Do you want to have your opinion on it? Don't be belittling on a post on fucking social media.
It's easy to find people, innit?
Yeah.
I managed to contact you. If you've got something to say, come and talk.
And I'm very much like that. So I told him, I said, I'll tell you what then, mate, if this is your opinion, you fight in the BKFC, right? Fucking, you've just put your comment with all your laughing faces and basically being a belittling twat. Yeah, everyone's entitled to go, well, actually, mate, not really. I think that that's a bit exaggerated. Yeah, I get that. I don't claim to be the hardest man in the country. Yeah, I know I can look after myself. I know I look after my family. I know I haven't built a business up or a name up how I have over the years through being a fucking idiot, through being a fucking bully, or I think I've some of the names that I get respect of. You get your local dickheads around these places that call you names and fucking say things behind your back, which sometimes go over your head. But like I say, you ain't a bad day, and it don't. But some of the names over the country that's fucking... And the lads I'm involved with in the security game and look after and stuff are serious people.
Mm.
You don't get a fucking reputation in the security game through being a fucking idiot.
You get caught out.
You get caught out. And this,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm saying is, so when this lad did this morning, and then the thing, and he went, I wasn't saying that, I was saying Mick Torellis, and like I had to point out, listen, that video was made on behalf of me, not for me. I never said, I want this video making. These lads made this video, sent it me, look mate, I don't mind, blah, no, of course I don't, mate. If it's helping you out, it helps me out. It's advertising for me, it's building your social media platform or whatever you're doing. Yeah, I'm happy with that, mate. No problem. Thank you very much. And yeah, but it's Mick Terrell. Mick Terrell's the hardest man in UK. Mick Terrell in the heavyweights in BKFC is hard as fucking nails. Yeah, I'm not going to stand there and go, yep, Sand, if I fought Mick, I think I've got every chance in the world of knocking him out in first round. I'd be talking shit. Do you know what I mean? I would be. If they rung up and went, okay, no mate, payday here for you. Do you want to fight Mick Terrell? Would I turn it down? No, I wouldn't. Is it ever going to happen? No, in my lifetime. I've not even signed to BKC. So I get it, but then I had to explain to this lad, look mate, that video's made by someone for, as in, everyday life, mate, yeah? Back in the day when Roy Shaw was around, Lenny McLean, and all you get, well, Lenny McLean were a bully, Roy Shaw were a dickhead, but alright, of course, yeah, alright mate, did you know him?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
It's easy to have an opinion from afar, isn't it?
The craze were nonsense, the craze were this, the craze were that, yeah, alright, but at the time everyone licked their arse and respected them. Same with the guns from Nottingham, yeah? One of them's locked up doing 35 years for a murder that they've been accused of doing, and the other one's out and about making podcasts and whatnot, and yeah, I've had differences with the one that's still out. I've never met Colin like that. Obviously, by the time I was doing what I was doing, Colin was already locked up. But them lads had fear in Nottingham. But at the same time, there was also very respected by a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
But you get these people that jump on social media nowadays. This guy's a fucking idiot. This guy's an idiot. This guy's an idiot. They say about, like I said, about other people I know. Well, a guy that we spoke about on the security company, multi-millionaire. Do you think he cares what anyone thinks when he's sat at home at night in his nice big house with all his fancy cars, all his fancy things, and his family never wants for anything? Do you think he cares? He's set his family for life now. His kids are set. His grandkids are set. His son's a very clever businessman. No, they don't. Same as a friend of mine that owns Magpie Security, who we do a lot of work with, Jay. One of the most humblest guys in the world. His name was linked with that name. He's a Bailey. He's Richard Bailey's son. Rich is a lovely bloke. They've all been around in the 90s in that era. Jason grew up around it just like I did. Did he want that reputation? No, he didn't. He sits there in his office running a security company, making a lot of money. And that's the difference nowadays, is everyone seems to think, because like with me, the video got made, oh, you want to be like that guy. No, I don't. No, I don't want to be that guy. You go out, people ask for a photograph sometimes. I did some acting on the Sean James Repo Recall on the picture that's behind you. I get recognised for that sometimes. Oh, I've seen you on Amazon Prime, mate, on that Repo Recall thing. And it's the fact of, alright, yeah, I'm not claiming I'm a celebrity or anything like that, but same with a lot of the fighting lads. You go to a show, how many people can I picture, mate?
Yeah,
when they're a fighter.
Yeah,
they do, don't they?
I noticed you and the other guy, the older fella.
Wait.
Yeah. There's a lot of people hovering around your table.
Yeah. And you get it and things like that, and it's... And I just think the fight community is such... Because of social media, it's such a bitter, shitty thing now with the fights. I think social media's ruined the way the fight game runs, because you'll get a lad on there. I'll give you an example. Stenton Corthwaite, he fought at the weekend. Yeah.
Oh, he's just had another fight.
Boxing. He did boxing.
Okay.
Yeah. Stenton doesn't claim to be any sort of boxer. He's a fucking brawler. He's done bare-knuckle. Yeah. He's been successful at bare-knuckle. His problem is, he doesn't train properly, he gasses out. Yeah? That's his problem. He did it with a boxing match. I've noticed a post on Facebook this morning.
He could take some punishment.
He didn't lose the boxing match through getting knocked out or anything. He quit. He gassed out. He blew out. He quit.
Yeah.
And he's been slagged off all over the internet this morning. That drains the life out of me. It drains the life out of me.
Yeah, there's no need.
I hated Andy Goy, who I was supposed to fight at Rotherham. Hated him for what he'd done to people. Hated him for his arrogant attitude, everything. Tried to keep it civil with him. Tried to be right with him to get him to the fight. The fucking wanker did what he did, didn't turn up, shit on everyone, made everyone look like twats, wasted everyone's time, wasted everyone's money. He did what he did. But after that fight, even though I hated him, and that fight wasn't gonna that wasn't gonna be like, example, the Adrian Almer fight, yeah? Not a lot of people know this. I took that fight on 4 weeks' notice, untrained, because I'd come off the back of the bicep injury. I was told by the surgeons not to fight again until March 2024. And they were like, and that's if it's up to scratch from what the physio says. I'd re-torn the bicep. No one knew that. I took the fight on 4 weeks' notice. I got in the ring. Me and Adrian had a very mutual respect at the time, because Adrian had been up to my gym when I had the gym training with us. We taught Adrian a lot. Adrian then said, look mate, I didn't really want to do the fight, but I'm not going to miss the opportunity. It's for a belt, it's for a very prestige belt as well. We're going to do, look, but we're still going to be mates after. Me and him went to war. We went to fucking war.
Yeah, I've seen clips
Adrian lost his head in that first round. And I got it. But like I said to him, I'm older than him, I'm wiser than him, I'm more experienced than him. He did it, and Andy Walsh was reffing it, and Andy will tell you. Because Andy came up to me in the corner and was like, fucking, you're not normal, mate. You're not fucking, I've not seen nothing like it. Because Adrian'd done that, Andy tried to break it, he'd thrown some dirty shots after the fight was in the break. Andy was breaking the fight, he was still throwing shots. So, alright, cool. So I said to Adrian in the fight, I went to the rope, said to Sam, I says, this how it can be then, yeah? And Sam like looked at me just to say, he's done that now. He's fucking made it that way. So I told Adrian, I says, cool. I told you this, mate, at the start. You want a fair fight? Fair fight. It's fisticuffs, shake hands, done. Everyone's happy. You've made it a dirty fight now. And he looked at me like that, and he says, I'm sorry. So my words to Adrian was at the time in that ring, because we was in the zone, was fuck your apology. Yeah, like, you want a dirty fight, you've got one. So it went on, and the clinches was happening, and he said, what, 6'5", 6'6", Adrian, tall kid, big lad, was in the clinch. I was hitting Adrian with shots with the right. And what no one knew is, in the first, minute of that first round, my right arm went, to the point where my hand had physically opened. Couldn't make a full fist. I'm right-handed. So, I went back to the corner. There was like, what are you fucking doing? I was like, my arm's gone. You know, with the bare-knuckle, your wraps. They had to get the wrap on my thumb and push my fingers in and pull the wrap over all the way over the thumb around the first couple of fingers so I could keep a fist. It went numb in the end, so it didn't matter. But in the second round, I'm sorry, which is what it is. See what happens. He fucking hit me with the biggest elbow in the head in the clinch. Was it deliberate? Don't know. Could it have been in the moment? Yeah. Scars on the head. It were fucking deep. It were down to bone. It were a bad cut. And it got naughty. The fight got serious. And it carried on, and at one point he was saying to Andy, please stop the fight. Adrian wanted to fucking quit. Give him his due, and Adrian knows I love him to bits, and I'll fucking help Adrian out all the time, and I sponsor him and everything now. And he was saying to Andy, stop the fight, look at all the blood, and I was saying, no, fuck that, mate, it's not stopping. I would fucking wipe the blood off my face and all that, you know, fucking in the moment, and it carried on. And at one point, if you watch it back, he's like pointing at my head like, it's bad, bro, come on, it's bad, stop. I'm saying, fuck that, it's not stopping, man. I didn't even wipe the blood, and I was touching him with my blood like that, and he looked at me fucking grinning, and it was a good fight. But we went to war. We went to full blown war. And after that fight, once he didn't want no more, and he looked at me. And after that fight, I gave him a hug, I shook his hand, told him, listen mate, it's done now. And he was, I'm sorry John, listen, it's done. It's finished, mate. And I just shook Andy Goy's hand. I can do that in sport. When it's personal, I can't.
Yeah, the thing is, you could go to war with a man like that. You could shake hands. No one's been shot, no one's been stabbed, and it's not going to happen after, Ali. people are going to say, "Oh, I've lost a fight. I'm going to shoot you now," has he?
Mate, for several days after, Adrian was messaging me like, "Mate, please tell your wife I'm sorry. I fucking didn't mean to do that to you." It's one that Adrian, listen, mate, fuck, what are you still going on about it for? It is what it is.
He's a big kid, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big kid. He's powerful, mate. And the thing is, if Adrian trains properly and gets a proper coach involved, I think he'll be fucking very difficult to beat.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben's beat him a couple of times, and I believe the thing is when Ben beat him as well is a lot of that was his confidence again. His confidence had dropped. It was a worry. He wiped Brian Morrow out in 10 seconds. Brian Morrow's a tough kid.
Yeah, he's very well known.
He's a tough kid. Yeah. But Matt Smith and Brian Morrow went at it for fucking hell. Was it 2 rounds when they went at it? There was a fucking mess in that ring. It was a bloodbath. It was a serious fight. And this is why it winds me up with the social media thing, like we keep going back to, is people then sit there and go, "You're a shit boxer, he is. Yeah, he's wanky, he is. You ever had a fight, mate?"
Yeah.
No.
But you get that in every sport. I mean, people are professional footballers, play for England. One game goes wrong and they're shit.
Yeah.
They can't kick a ball.
Tyson Fury with the Usyk fight.
Yeah. Tyson Fury's no good. Yeah, obviously not. You know, he's made it clear about that.
He's only been like one of the fucking top blokes in boxing for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It is crazy, mate. It's nuts. The society is now with social media, with sports especially.
Yeah. Listen, and I wrap it up. I really, really appreciate your time.
Ray, not a problem.
We're going to meet again. We'll talk again. And I get some pictures of your belts here.
Yeah.
And I'll put them on. And I'll also try and pull up a bit of footage from like the fight that you mentioned. We'll stitch it all in. But thanks for watching. If you like this sort of content, please like, share, please comment. It'll help me to meet more men and get you some more interesting stories and have a look at it from the inside. So rather than listening to what people have got to say about you, you can tell them how it really is, isn't it?
Ray, thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, man.
BKB all promotion, mate. I don't think they're no longer going with that. We're a world title belt.
And then we're moving down.
King of the Vales, a couple of trophies on there as well. Various fights. And then the East Midlands as well.